Civilian dependent wife demands salute because of her husband's rank. TLDR. Civilian dependent wife demanded to be saluted because her husband was an officer. Used her clout to get enlisted to salute vehicle stickers. Enlisted followed orders and saluted vehicle stickers. Prioritized them over officers. And even empty vehicles in parking lots. There are a handful of rules to saluting in the American military. The when, why, and how is drilled into you from boot camp until the day you leave. Even the order in which the salutes are rendered have meaning. When it comes to vehicles, there are helpful insignia and stickers to indicate if it's an officer. Such as a colored sticker located on the front windshield. My base was small enough where it was everyone's job at some point to do sentry duty at the front gate, which had housing for military families. Sentry duty was pretty basic. You'd stop every vehicle, check IDs and then wave them through. If they were an officer, you'd see it coming with those colored stickers, and after verifying the identify of the officer, you'd salute and send them on their way. One day while on duty, I approached a vehicle with an officer's sticker and there was only the officer's wife driving in the vehicle. I returned her ID, wished her a nice day and waved her through, pausing with a stern look. "Where's my salute, Petty Officer Citizen Alpha?" Now Karen here was wife to a higher-ranking officer and clearly has fallen under the impression people are saluting her somewhere along the way. Some of the junior enlisted might have even been saluting her, as they're pretty easy to bully and more prone fuck-ups. I politely replied, "Ma'am, salutes are only rendered to commissioned officers." Angrily pointing her chubby little fingers at the front of her windshield towards her husband's officer sticker. "I have a sticker and you need to salute the sticker." Curtly I continued, "I'm afraid that sticker is not an officer either." Frustrated, she pulled through and left my post, my cover guy. The guy keeping me safe with a big gun. And I watched her drive down the street and pull right into the administrative building with the top brass and huffed into the building as quickly as her soft shitty body would take her. We exchange a look between us with wry smiles, knowing exactly where this is probably going. Later that day we get a new official base-wide mandate. From here forward all enlisted will salute vehicle stickers of officers regardless of who's in the vehicle. Roger that. This is where the malicious compliance comes in. It's worth noting that when you salute an officer as enlisted, you do it first. And you hold that salute until you are saluted in return and they lower theirs. Only then do you lower your salute. It signals that you're saluting them. And they're replying. Additionally, when saluting a group of officers, you generally direct your salute and greeting to the highest ranking individual. Now, as far as I know, this stupid sticker salute order has no accommodation for how a 2004 Toyota Camry fits into the officer's pecking order. Additionally, if the car is unoccupied, it's not like that sticker is removed. After that order came through, we all began saluting stickers. Personally, I'd direct my salute to the sticker. I would also prioritize sticker salutes over officers. Let me tell you, walking through parking lots was a blast as I saluted empty cars on my way to wherever. More and more people saw me doing it, and more people started doing it, not long after the order was publicly rescinded, which hilariously had the balancing affect of never rendering a salute to anyone but a clearly known officer, cementing Karen never getting her unearned salutes. I'm picturing a group of officers meeting on an otherwise routine morning. Why is nothing getting done? Where are the enlisted? They eventually find all of the enlisted on base saluting a sticker on a 2004 Camry. Some have been there for hours. Why? Because the sticker has yet to salute back or dismiss them. I'm afraid that sticker is not an officer either. Hysterical. Actual laugh out loud. Brilliant. Would also fit well on our just depend a things. You do it first. And you hold that salute until you are saluted in return and they lower theirs. Only then do you lower your salute. How did you ever stop saluting the first vehicle? This is hilarious. You need to send this to the suggestion box to the guys at Camp Pendleton. It was a big issue there when we were stationed there a while back. I can only imagine the delight of sitting in line behind one of these cars. Or seeing it in a lot. I imagined you blocking the front of the car, saluting the sticker and waiting respectfully for the sticker to reply. I'd have given her the freeway salute, but you'd probably have been reprimanded for that. When we were in Germany. BAOR days. Long ago. My dad discovered that, because of heavy taxes and severe gas prices, most large, used cars did not sell well. If you were rich, you wanted a current year model. So he found a 3-yo Mercedes 300. Biggest MB made then. Officers' cars might have flags but usually only senior. Every time we drove onto a base, guard would come to attention and present. At that time Dad was a corporal. I grew up military and saw about 1,000 of those types growing up. She wouldn't have liked any salute I would have given her. I've seen them try to cut the line at the commissary based on their rank. Trying to enter restricted areas they had no business being in. Tried to get out of basic requirements. Like showing ID, standing at attention during taps, or wearing seatbelts on base. And a few even barked orders at me or my mom. That was the line they shouldn't have crossed. My mom was in uniform. SFC USA. And took zero shits from anybody not in uniform, and even then they had to have more rank on their shoulder than her. I have a "you are too stupid to live" look and never realized until now that I learned it from my mom. And you are right, too many didn't know their place in the universe and who would or wouldn't jump. When they commanded, "Nah bitch, I don't work for you and neither do either of my parents," Mom would ask them for the name of their sponsor, military member, spouse, their CO, etc., and regardless of the name she would say, "Oh yeah, I know him. I'll tell him about this at the stand-up Monday morning. He really hates dependents who try to give orders to the troops." The thought, or actual reporting, of the military member being reported to their CO because of spouse stupidity usually could put them in their place. This was in the 70s and early 80s, so many folks still weren't used to women in uniform. Especially the Germans. Mom was Army and Dad was Air Force. With 5 kids and usually managing to be stationed together or very nearby. Thank you for the laugh. I've read stories about the antics of some military spouses and can quite believe the demand to be saluted. How is that Karen's husband think he is going to command a military unit when he is obviously so p-whipped that he jumps when his wife storms into HQ and chews his butt out for her not getting a salute? Since you said this was a small base, I am sure everyone eventually found out who the husband of this Karen was. I hope this officer knew that he was the basis for the joke of saluting car stickers. Officers like this should be mustered out, along with the Karen. That's 2004 Toyota Camry, sir. To you, petty officer. I'm afraid that sticker is not an officer either. I love this line. I think Karen J. Dependa is entitled to a salute. But not the kind for officers. Note: don't actually do these if you plan to advance in the military. They're fun to pretend you did. The first one being the middle finger, or the M&M variety, which used both middle fingers. Let me try to describe the next one. You bend your fingers inward at 90 degrees. Put then under your chin where your fingertips are near your neck and back of finger is under your chin. Move your hand forward and extend all finger upward. I believe this is the Italian version of the middle finger. For this one, put your hand up sideways in of your face with your thumb facing you. Extend your thumb and put it to your nose and wiggle your other fingers. I remember this one from school in the late 1980s. I heard this gesture has an obscene message. Here's one from an episode of MASH. It's more childlike than obscene. Use 2 fingers to widen your mouth. At the same time, stick out your tongue and cross your eyes. Frank Burns complained Hawkeye did that to him in the mess tent. There's also something called the British salute. I'm not sure how that goes. Edit to add, you should also post this to our military stories. Enlisted sailors, especially submariners, are the best at malicious compliance. This is excellent. Source: me, former submarine officer. This might be the best act of malicious compliance that I have read about on this sub. I'm afraid that sticker is not an officer either. You had me dying. Throughout my time in the Marine Corps, I have never encountered an entitled dependent. Only the stories that followed. I'm glad you had fun with that base-wide mandate. But even more so that they took that stupid rule away. 2 decades ago, my dad and I would commute to work, school. He would drive us to the base first. He would be saluted as we drove through the gate. I would then keep the car for the day, going to school and killing time until he was done. Every dang time I drove back on base to pick him up, the car would be saluted at the gate. I asked the guard if that was truly necessary, since it was clearly obvious I was a teenager and not a military member. With a sad wry grin, he said he had to, and we carried on. On a separate but related note, one of my school friends was boy and officer crazy and always wanted me to drive and go shopping on both nearby bases just so she could be saluted. Our friendship did last long enough to blossom into anything real once I learned that. Edit. Punctuation. Long ago. Well, I was driving age in 1972. My dad was a senior reservist officer at our local SAC base, which also had housing. When we went to swim at the officers' mess, we got saluted. I asked Dad if I needed to return it. He laughed and said no. Fond memories. Ruined me for public pools though. It was so clean. We did have a drill. If he was home when I took my sister to the pool. No speeding. Obey the posted signs. Do not embarrass me. Quote. He also flew for TWA, so was not home always. During my reserve basic training days, 1970s, it was taught as customary to salute all unaccompanied females. When I joined the regular service, 1981, however, that particular custom was never mentioned. But I noticed with interest that the condition was not specifically rescinded. It could be that it was a condition imposed by individual commanding officers in their respective unit standing orders. In any case, I always applied it during my service career. I just thought it was being courteous with respect to a group of officers. It was my understanding that you are paying salutations to the group as a whole and not specifically the senior rank present. Reciprocity then demanded that the senior rank present return that salute on behalf of the group. A technical point perhaps, but an important one relative to military customs and traditions. When in doubt, ask your unit sergeant major. They'll set you straight.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.